Welcome to Crime Story with Camila, where we dive deep into the most chilling and mysterious true crime cases. If you love real-life crime stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and share so you never miss an update. Your support helps us bring you the most in-depth investigations and untold stories. Long Island, New York, a place defined by peaceful neighborhoods, family homes, and a sense of safety that many believed could never be broken. In the early 1970s, Amityville was the kind of town where doors were left unlocked, children rode their bikes freely, and neighbors knew one another by name. Located along the southern shore of Long Island, Amityville was a quiet, middle-class community, far removed from the crime and chaos often associated with New York City. It was a town built on routine, trust, and the promise of the American suburban dream. But nestled among these peaceful streets stood one house, 112 Ocean Avenue. A large Dutch colonial home overlooking a canal, it looked no different from the others around it. To the outside world, it was simply another family residence. But inside, a darkness was waiting. On the surface, nothing about Amityville suggested it would soon become the center of one of the most infamous family slayings in American history. Yet on one November night in 1974, this quiet Long Island town would be forever changed. The DeFeo family appeared, by all outward measures, to be the embodiment of suburban success. Ronald DeFeo Sr. was a successful car dealership manager, known in the community as a hardworking provider. His wife, Louise DeFeo, was a devoted mother who focused her life around her children and their home. Together, they raised 5 children inside the walls of 112 Ocean Avenue. Each child had their own personality, their own dreams, and their own place in the family. Dawn Teresa DeFeo, 18 years old, the eldest. Independent, strong-willed, and on the brink of adulthood. Allison Louise DeFeo, 13, quiet and kind, known for her gentle nature. Mark Gregory DeFeo, 12, energetic and athletic, full of youthful enthusiasm. John Matthew DeFeo, just 9 years old, the youngest, still clinging to childhood innocence. At the center of the family dynamic was the eldest son, Ronald DeFeo Jr., known to friends as Butch. Outwardly, he lived a life of privilege, a good job, financial support from his father, and the freedom that came with it. But beneath that image, cracks were forming. Butch struggled with anger, substance abuse, and a volatile relationship with his parents, especially his father. Arguments were frequent, tensions were constant, and behind closed doors, the DeFeo household was far from peaceful. To neighbors, the DeFeos were just another family. No one could have imagined that the conflicts inside this home would soon explode into unimaginable violence. In the early hours of November 13, 1974, Amityville was silent. Most of the town was asleep, unaware that, inside one quiet home, an entire family was about to be wiped out. Sometime after 3 a.m., Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. picked up a .35 caliber Marlin rifle. One by one, he moved through the house where he had grown up, the same halls where family laughter once echoed. First, his parents. Ronald DeFeo Sr. and Louise DeFeo were shot in their bed as they slept, struck from behind, given no chance to wake, no chance to run. Then the children.
Dawn,
Allison.
Mark,
John Matthew. Each was found face down in their beds, killed in the same manner, shot while sleeping. There were no signs of struggle, no screams reported by neighbors. 6 lives were taken in chilling silence. Hours later, as daylight approached, Butch DeFeo walked into a local bar, panic in his voice. He told friends something unthinkable, that his entire family had been murdered. When police entered 112 Ocean Avenue, they discovered a crime scene that stunned even seasoned investigators. 6 members of the same family, all dead, all killed in their beds. Almost immediately, one question haunted everyone involved. How could something this violent happen without anyone hearing a thing? Police found no signs of forced entry, no evidence of intruders, and the murder weapon, a .35 caliber rifle, was traced directly back to DeFeo himself. Under mounting pressure, the story changed. By the afternoon of November 13th, Ronald DeFeo Jr. broke down. He confessed to killing his parents and 4 siblings, calmly admitting that once he started, he could not stop. He offered no clear motive, no emotional outburst, only fragments, claims of hearing voices, of feeling overwhelmed, of rage that had built for years. The confession sent shockwaves through Amityville. A son had slaughtered his entire family, not in a moment of panic, but in cold, methodical silence. As the town struggled to understand the horror, investigators prepared for the next chapter, a trial that would test the limits of sanity, responsibility, and justice. Why would a son turn a gun on his own family? In the aftermath of the Amityville slayings, this question haunted investigators, psychologists, and the public alike. And even decades later, the answer remains disturbingly unclear. Ronald DeFeo Jr. claimed that he heard voices that told him to kill. His defense would later argue that he was suffering from severe mental illness, incapable of controlling his actions on that November night. But prosecutors saw a different picture. They pointed to years of rage, resentment, and hostility, especially toward his father. Friends and family described frequent violent arguments, physical confrontations, and a home filled with fear rather than love. There were also signs of substance abuse. DeFeo had a history of drug and alcohol use, which may have intensified his paranoia and aggression. Investigators believed this volatile combination played a significant role in the murders. Some have suggested financial motives as well. DeFeo stood to inherit money and property after his family's deaths, though prosecutors argued this was not the primary trigger, but a disturbing byproduct of the crime. In truth, no single explanation fully accounts for what happened. Mental instability, substance abuse, family conflict, and deep-seated anger all collided, culminating in an act of unimaginable violence. And as the court prepared to decide his fate, one thing became painfully clear. Whatever the motive, 6 innocent lives had been lost, and nothing could undo it. In October 1975, nearly a year after the murders, Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. stood trial in New York State Court. The case drew intense media attention, transforming a quiet family tragedy into a national spectacle. The defense centered its case on insanity. DeFeo's attorneys argued that he was mentally ill, tormented by voices that drove him to kill, unable to distinguish right from wrong on the night his family died. But prosecutors dismantled that argument piece by piece. They pointed to the methodical nature of the killings, 6 victims, shot individually, in separate rooms, as evidence of planning and awareness. They emphasized that DeFeo reloaded his rifle, moved deliberately through the house, and attempted to fabricate a story afterward, actions inconsistent with a total break from reality. After weeks of testimony, the jury reached its decision. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was found guilty of 6 counts of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 6 consecutive terms of 25 years to life in prison, 1 life sentence for each family member he killed. Justice, the court ruled, had been served, but for Amityville, the wounds left behind would never truly heal. The murders of the DeFeo family should have remained a tragic footnote in American crime history. Instead, they became the foundation of one of the most enduring and controversial horror legends of all time. Just 1 year after the killings, a new family, George and Kathleen Lutz and their 3 children, moved into 112 Ocean Avenue. What followed would catapult the house into global infamy. After only 28 days, the Lutz family fled the home, claiming they were terrorized by violent paranormal activity, unexplained noises, foul odors, visions, and an overwhelming sense of evil. Their story was immortalized in the 1977 best-selling book The Amityville Horror, followed by numerous films that blurred the line between fact and fiction, turning a real-life mass murder into entertainment. But as the franchise grew, controversy followed. Journalists, investigators, and even members of the Lutz family later admitted that elements of the haunting story were exaggerated or entirely fabricated. What was never in question, however, was the original crime. 6 members of the DeFeo family were brutally murdered, a reality often overshadowed by ghost stories and Hollywood dramatization. Critics argue that pop culture transformed a family tragedy into a commercial spectacle, shifting attention away from the victims and toward myth. Today, the house still stands, renovated, renumbered, and quietly occupied. But its history cannot be erased. For many, 112 Ocean Avenue remains a symbol of how real horror needs no supernatural explanation. The Long Island family slayings are a chilling reminder that the darkest horrors often come from within, from the people we trust the most. In a single night, Ronald DeFeo Jr. destroyed the lives of 6 loved ones, leaving a community in shock and a nation asking how such violence could occur. Over the years, the story has been retold countless times, in books, movies, and documentaries, blurring the line between reality and legend. But beyond the myths, the truth remains stark and undeniable. 6 innocent lives were lost, and the DeFeo family will never be forgotten. For Amityville, and for all who study this tragedy, the murders are more than a story. They are a cautionary tale about rage, mental illness, and the fragility of family. They remind us that evil can appear in the most ordinary places, and that justice, while served in court, can never fully heal the wounds left behind. Thank you for watching. If you want to explore more true crime stories that reveal the complexities of human nature, subscribe and turn on notifications, because sometimes the truth is scarier than fiction.
Thanks for watching. For more interesting videos, please subscribe.